All right, guys. One more day, and we're there. Tomorrow, Texas Longhorns, with most of the college football, kicks off their season. And, of course, the Horns start off in Reliant Stadium against the Rice Owls. This is usually an annual game. We didn't play Rice last year, but for the most part, we usually play Rice every year. And every year, it's our tune-up game. So, when you have a game like this, and I really, this is one of the things that I think is a drawback for college football against NFL. In the NFL, almost every game you can't just walk in, chalk it up. Even if you're playing the Detroit Lions or the St. Louis Rams, you can't just walk in just check mark that's a win. But in college, a lot of these teams are playing. Most of the top teams are playing bad teams that are just pretty much just to act as a preseason, since we don't really get one. And so this is what you got to look at as a Longhorns fan, as a preseason game, as a game to evaluate the team, look and see what we've got, and how the team's going to look throughout the season. And as we said before, we're not doing the zone read anymore. We'll do some zone read. It's not like they're scrapping it, but we're going to go under center. I think I've heard that Greg Davis wants to go 70% under center, which we haven't seen that in a while. Ever since Vince and Colt, it's been that zone read shotgun. Now I think, but they believe that this I formation is going to be more suited to what Garrett Gilbert can do, and as well as one of the main thing though is that Mac Brown is tired of not being able to run the football. And Texas fans, we've been tired of that. It's been weird. We've had these past couple of years. We had some of the best Texas teams ever. One got to the national championship. One was a game away. I mean, we haven't had bad teams, but throughout all those seasons, we could not run the football very well. Because we were asking our, everything was to the sidelines, and the guys we recruited offensive line are big old dudes that don't do so hot blocking sideline to sideline. So hopefully, going to this more of a pro style, we'll get to use their asset, which is just being beasts, and hopefully run over some people. Now, of course, Texas Longhorns fans know this, but for those of you who don't, Cody Johnson will be starting for the Texas Longhorns, running back. Oklahoma fans, you know who Cody Johnson is. But Cody Johnson he was our big back. He was the guy when we needed a yard, we were at the goal line. He was the guy to punch it in, and that's really most of the times what we used him for. He came in this summer though, or actually this fall, in shape, but lost about I think like 10 pounds maybe. He was really, he was a gangbuster. So now he's not just going to be just the power back to get 1 yard. He right now is going to be the starting running back for this team, which I'm all for that. I mean, I love, this is a guy, I'm not going to say he is Mark Ingram, he's not. But it's that type of back, that, a power runner who, he's not going to break away from anybody, but he's going to bust some heads when he goes through there. That doesn't mean that, Trey Newton, I think, is second, and Fozzie's going to be third, but they're going to swap those guys out. This is not just going to be a one running back team. We've got 3 guys that can do the job, and they'll be on the field. So what we're going to know from this Rice game is not, are we going to be able to run the ball efficiently, because you're not going to learn anything against Rice. If you don't run the ball efficiently against Rice, you've got troubles. But if you do it well, it's fun to watch. But, until you do it against conference opponents and good teams, we won't learn anything about this team really until we play Texas Tech in Lubbock, because next week we have Wyoming and Austin. That's another one of those games. It's a step up from Rice, but, that's another thing. But, of course, the main thing, it's hard to get a look too much at the offense and put up too many offensive numbers against a team like Rice, because, when you've got a good defense like Texas and you're playing a bad team, you usually work from a short field all the time, because Rice is not going to be able to move the ball at all. And, and now that Rice does have one player, some of you may not know that Sam McGuffey is playing for Rice now. He's the YouTube sensation who played for Michigan, and he didn't fit the system, so he came back to Texas playing for Rice. So, I mean, yeah, he's a guy who's a big play guy, but, I mean, he's not, that's more of a name than anything. He's not going to be able to do much for him. He may, we got to look for just that one time. Sometimes those bad teams you play will have that one moment where they have like some crazy play and they'll get a touchdown on you. You just have to watch that, and McGuffey will be the guy who'll be able to do that for Rice. But other than that, they don't have much to work with. I think they went like 2-10 last year. So this is a tune-up game for Texas. A good chance for Horns fans to get a look at Garrett Gilbert, this new kind of offense, and this running game. Plus, get to see the defense knock some heads and get their feet wet before the real stuff starts. So, Longhorns, it'll be fun to watch the team get out there and play somebody else other than themselves. They probably get better work in practice than they will this Saturday. But it's going to be it's fun to play in that stadium. They get to play in Reliant. That's really the only draw for me. I'm not going to the game tomorrow, but I was tempted by it just because I wanted to go to Reliant and see the stadium. But I didn't really want to watch an exhibition game. So, Hook 'em Horns, Texas fight, and we'll see how good the Horns look tomorrow. And hopefully this can lead to a pretty good season. So this is the starting block. This is to get that first win. But we all know there's a much bigger task later on the season. Hook 'em, guys.